I don't know what to say. I've been an NC State fan a long time. I've never seen something like that.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Wolfpack Nation? It's time to get locked in with Locked On. Thanks for making Locked On Wolfpack your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Our Monday post-game live / Tuesday episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. If you were in the building tonight, I bet you glad you were. But if you weren't in the building, Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase on Gametime. Take advantage of that. What's up, Wolfpack Nation? As always, I'm Grayson Boone, joined by former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. 114-66 on an opening sellout crowd inside the Lenovo Center. We were told that a reckoning is coming. We were told that the pack would be back. I've never seen anything more back than the NC State Wolfpack.
Well, if we weren't insufferable enough after beating Georgia Tech, if we were not annoying enough at the water cooler after a top 10 victory, oh boy. Oh, this is what Will Wade was talking about when he said you can wear your NC State stuff with your chest out. So yeah, I'm a State grad. Yeah, I'm a State fan. This right here, I mean, Grayson, where do you even start? And I'm not joking when I say this. I'm not being hyperbolic. Where did you even start with all of the things that went right for this team? Where do you even begin to kind of formulate, hey, this is what this team did very well. This is what went right. Because I'm struggling to find things that I'm like, they probably need to get better at this right now. I'm not kidding when I say it at all. I'm looking at this team and I'm saying to myself, they lit it up from three. Got to the paint as they wanted. The bigs played absolute bully ball down low in terms of the ability to rebound. Grayson, you tell me, what is there anything that you look at in this game and you say this has to get better?
There was a couple lapses where we just got out of control with the ball handling, but I mean, when you're winning by 50, I can't harp on that too much. The only other thing, and it's a small thing, was missing 9 foul shots. But if you're going to hit 19 of 40 3-pointers, again, I think I'll just keep my mouth shut on that. I suspect they will be back in the lab. They're going to work on that. They're going to work on everything because Will Wade is the type of coach that does not settle. We just beat NC Central, and I'm going to be polite. We whooped them. He took them behind the woodshed. Will Wade is going to find things to nitpick in a game like that. He will not let this team settle for anything less than their standard and then greatness after that. I have never seen a team come out and look so ferocious, putting 8 to 9 to 10 new bodies together for a team, a new coach, a new staff, a new program overhaul, and they come out and look like that? Are you kidding me? Again, we were told this was going to be a good team. We know that there's talent on this roster. We know the financials that have changed somewhat overnight for this basketball program. I don't think you could have scripted a better night than what we just witnessed. And again, we're scratching the surface. We got Will Wade getting a technical foul up, was it 55 points? Remember when I said
up 50?
Remember when I said really early on, like a day or two after he was officially hired, Will Wade is the closest thing to Jim Valvano since Jim Valvano. Do you believe me now? Do you see what I was saying? Yeah. The energy in the building, I can't say enough about it. That is a serious program now. This is a program, if they shoot like that, and to be clear, we're not expecting them to shoot 48% from three in every single game. That's just flat out unsustainable. But if you shoot, 39%, 40%, they can play with anybody. believe me when I tell you they can play with anybody. They have the talent. They have the coaching. They have everything they need. They have the shooting, the rebounding, the speed, the ball handling. My goodness. I'm shocked.
You will have worse shooting nights than what we saw tonight, but I think it's the fact that everything came together. Everybody played their role that we thought they were going to play, plus some. Darian Williams, you're Mr. Do Everything. Well, what does he look like in trying to do everything? Oh, I don't know, just 19, 8, and 4, 4 or 6 from deep, only 1 turnover. Oh, well, Trey Holloman, he's supposed to be your point guard. He's supposed to be the guy that stirs the drink. What does he look like? Oh, I don't know, just a cool little 15 and 2, nothing too crazy, 3 steals. This young man was 4 of 7 from deep. Paul McNeil. I had to put on my glasses, Grayson. I had to put on my glasses. I said, wait a minute. Is that Fabian Smith? Is that Baby T reincarnated right there? Who is that? Man, I'm telling you, this is the type of stuff that you absolutely love to see. I couldn't have scripted a better game one. And shout out to Coach Moden and the North Carolina Central Eagles for taking on this challenge, because they knew this was going to be a very tall mountain to climb, and they still showed up. And I'm going to tell you, man, this is the type of game that sets the foundation for what your season is going to be. And I know some people are going to say, well, Ken, everybody's whooping the wheels off folks in their first game. No. A 50 burger where you're taking your starters out with about 5-6 minutes left in the second half. I mean, come on now. We had the fans calling for Snell and him hitting the tray ball. Come on now. Well, this team here, it feels different, Grayson. This feels different. I have never felt like this. I've never felt like this about basketball in all of my time as a member of Wolfpack Nation. I've never once felt like this. There is a palpable energy surrounding this team. There is a palpable energy surrounding this team that cannot be denied.
I want to talk about something else. We're going to get into more of the stats of this game deeper. Let's start before the game even started. They went with the Reynolds Coliseum 1983 throwback uniforms that this fan base has been requesting every single day since about the week that Will Wade was hired. Raleigh's red, I've seen you on Twitter putting in the work. Flip, shout out Flip, I've seen you putting in the work on Twitter. Shout out Reed, who's a special assistant to Will Wade. He took note of what this fan base wants. And Will Wade's been doing that in several different ways over the course of the entire summer and into this fall. He has made it a point to learn the NC State fan base. He wants to know what we love, what we hate, what makes us tick, the things we have wanted to see for decades and have been sorely missing. They took all of that into account. They brought the noise meter back. This is a fever dream. It is truly a fever dream. This is far surpassing what we could have dreamed that this could be. And just real fast, I'm not putting the cart in front of the horse. This is only game one. We have a whole season ahead of us. We ain't won nothing. We ain't played for nothing. This is just one game. But to talk about the starting of a new era of NC State basketball, you could not have drawn it up better than what we saw with our 2 eyeballs tonight. Absolutely unbelievable. Shout out to this coaching staff. Actually, one more. Shout out to Coach Wade, too. I don't know how many of you saw this if you left early or you weren't in the arena. Post-game, he grabs the stadium PA microphone and says he wants to thank everyone for coming out tonight. The reckoning is here. The pack is back, and we're not to be messed with. This dude, Will Wade, is the showman that we have dreamed of forever as a head basketball coach at NC State. I said this months ago. He was scientifically engineered in a lab to come to Raleigh in an arena that's right off of Wade Avenue and lead the NC State basketball team back to prominence. Tonight is the very beginning of what that looks like.
Grayson, you talk about all the off the court stuff and all of the extras that make Will Wade great. The on-the-court stuff was insane in this one. It was insane. First of all, tied for the most threes ever in an NC State basketball game. Tied for the most threes in game one. But wait a minute, Grayson. You would think to yourself, well, if they're shooting the blood out the ball like that, they're probably a small team, probably struggling to rebound. What if I told you plus 16 on the boards, perhaps? And then you'd say, well, if you got those two things going, there's probably a lot of guys playing hero ball and you're just bigger and more physically imposed. 27 assists, perhaps. May I interest you in nearly 30 assists here? This team, so much. And this is not to shade anybody, but let's be honest. Our last two coaches have very heavily relied on ISO ball. We talked about the fact that when Godfrey was here, every time we would have a leading scorer in the ACC because our number one play would be, this is it. Get out the way, everybody. Give it to the star. Get out the way. That was our number one play. And now we're seeing a team where these guys look to get everybody else involved. There is no dribbling the air out of the ball. Nobody's doing that. Darian wasn't doing that, and he's the guy. He's the guy. Trey Holloman, he's your point guard. He's not stirring the air or dribbling the air out the ball. This is a squad that's looking to feed each other, looking to say, hey, we've got to get it to the open guy. We've got to make. How many times tonight did you count where that extra pass took a shot quality from good to great?
Countless.
Come on, man.
Countless times.
Come on. This right here, I know everybody's saying, oh, this team won't shoot like this every game. Hey, listen, 48% is high, sure. But if they're getting as many open looks as they were tonight, I don't see why they can't. I don't see why they can't come close. I don't see why we can't get a 40%er. It feels like the only remnants of what we had last year that came back this year was the free throw shoot struggles, I guess. That's it. That's all. Everything else, brand new. Brand new, and I love it.
Much, 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 much more to say, but we're going to get into a quick ad read. Stick with us.
Folks, I want to tell you all about FanDuel. College basketball is back. So is the NBA. So is the NHL. So many different leagues rolling all at once, and there's no better place to put something on the action than with FanDuel. Even if you missed the start of a game, or if you want to ride a hot hand, I mean, every hand on NC State was hot tonight. Am I right? FanDuel gives you live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine the bets into a same game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making a late push. Right now, FanDuel is offering $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
All right, middle portion of our Monday evening post-game live. NC State wins 114-66. I want to spend a couple minutes here diving in a little bit deeper to some of the numbers. Darian Williams led us in scoring with 19. He was 7 of 10 from the floor, 4 of 6 from three-point land. Started the game red hot, 3 for his first 3, and it was in that moment that you knew, or at least he looked like exactly who he was supposed to be coming to NC State. He looks like the ACC preseason player of the year. He looks like the bus driver for this team. And his maturity, I think, is something that really popped for my eyes tonight. He had 19 points. He had 4 rebounds. You know what the most impressive stat for me is? 8 assists. He led us 8 assists. And he's a power forward or a stretch 4, whatever you want to call him. This is the most dynamic player, or at least one of them, in the ACC. He is going to be outstanding for us all season long. Kenton, what did you see from D1 now? Not D5 anymore, but D1.
Well, if we're talking about Darian Williams, you've got to talk about the fact that he was an all-around guy. He did a little bit of everything. And the thing that excited me the most about him was what's not on the stat sheet. His hustle, his effort, How many times was there a play that he fought for a deflection or he fought for an offensive rebound when he could have very easily said, hey, man, we up 20. We up 20. I'm going to let him go ahead and get this little rebound and take it down the court the other way. We're stifling them anyway on defense. We'll be all right. But instead, he fought for every single loose ball that was out there. This was a hell of a job by D. Will. There is nothing short of pure elation watching this young man play basketball. And, you know, I want to talk about somebody else for a second here, Grayson, because you said that D. Will is the bus driver. You know, you ever been on the field trip, Grayson? There's always the bus driver is very important, but you know who's also important? That young kid that's in the back cracking all the jokes, got all the best snacks, keeping the vibes high. You know, Mr. Matthew Abel. Come on down, brother. Come on down. You know, you talk about we got the preseason player of the year. Well, you know, the preseason freshman of the year, they're going to be one of those boozer boys out of Duke. It's going to be one of them. Matt Abel said, I beg your pardon. I'd like a word. I'd like a word. I'd like to have, I want to throw my hat in that ring because this young man played a spectacular game as well. 14, 6, and 4 with one turnover, 5 of 11 overall, 3 of 8 from deep. I'm telling you, there's something there. There's something there. Defended at a high level. And how many fouls do you think he got tonight, Grayson? How many fouls do you think the freshman picked up?
I think maybe one off the top of my head.
Goose egg, brother. Goose egg. That young man did a fantastic job on both ends of the floor. I'm telling you something. We found us one. You know, Will Wade said he's going to get him a showstopper in every class. And when he was on the floor, the show stopped.
I want to call in this comment here from Spotted Twice on the bottom of the screen. It says, you were right about calling Q Copeland a junkyard dog. Yeah, we told you. You see what we're saying now. He is the Swiss Army knife of this team. He can rebound. He can assist. He can score a little bit. He can get to the rack. The three-point shooting is a work in progress. It's not been a strong suit of his, but they said over the course of the offseason they've been working on that too. He can do everything. And maybe the most important thing from Q, leadership. Especially coming from McNeese with Will Wade. He speaks Wade's language. He can translate to the rest of the team. We've talked about that so many times. To really see that facilitate out on the floor tonight was beautiful to see. And just wait, because we've seen it once. We've seen it once. He got teed up in the exhibition game with South Carolina. It's going to happen again. Not that I hope that it does, but it will, because that's a Will Wade team, and Quadir Copeland is a Will Wade player. He plays with an edge. He don't take no blank stuff from nobody. He's going to ride for his guys. He's going to ride for the NC State Wolfpack, and y'all better be riding with him because he's going to represent us well for this entire season. I thought Q had a big night. He had 15 points, perfect from the floor. He was 3 of 3, 8 of 10 at the foul line. He gave you 3 assists and 2 boards as well. He fills it up. Great player, Quadir Copeland. Next, you've already talked about Trey. Let's talk about Paul McNeil, shall we? The first half of this game was electric already. That was before Paul McNeil got cooking. He's hitting fall-away threes. He's burying his open looks. 4 of 7 on the night. I guarantee you there might be a game where he hits like 7 or 8 of them in a game. Remember, what's his name? Chris Bell from Syracuse. I hate to bring this up. Sorry, PTSD. He hit like 8 of 8 on us. Paul McNeil's going to have a game like that. Yep. Just wait. It's going to happen. Electric. To watch his development in just a small window going from last year to this year as the lone survivor. I know I keep calling him that, but Jordan Snell falls in that category as well. He hit one of them things tonight too. Paul McNeil is going to be a very special player because he's not just a three-point shooter. You saw him get to the rim a couple times. He hit his foul shots. He has hustle plays too. Hustle plays leads me into my next comment here. Ven-Allen Lubin. Have you ever seen a play with him on the floor where he's not given 147%? Ven-Allen Lubin's going to very quickly become a crowd favorite. I know I'm talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You can't fake this excitement. You can't fake the satisfaction with what we saw tonight. This team, they come at you from so many different angles. They execute at a high level, and they hold each other accountable. One last thing before I give it back to you, Kenton, something I want to say, and I want to be very clear about this. I'm not trying to throw mud on anybody's name. I'm not trying to cause any smoke. But the difference that I saw from a Will Wade team and anything we've seen in the last 25 plus years, Will Wade's team, they're probably going to win that game by 45, 50. Any of the other coaches, you might win by 13. You might win by 19. It might be a close game in the first half. Again, no disrespect, but if you're an NC State Wolfpack fan, you're probably nodding your head. You know what I'm talking about. This team looks different. They feel different. If I could smell them, I bet they smell different. I'm over the moon tonight.
They are different. They are different. That's the biggest thing. This team just is different from what we've seen. And you could shout out almost every player tonight. One player that I don't want to go unheralded in his efforts for tonight, my boy, Jerry Dang. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I've said all off season, his ability, that lineup where him and D. Will are the front court, that's going to give some teams nightmares because you're going to find yourself in a moment where you're like, well, what do we do? What do we do? Do we hope to just beat them on the glass and beat them on the inside? Well, you could try that, but NC State, Will Wade's coach these guys up that when you drop it in the post and they got a guard on the big, it's immediately 4 hands up in his face, immediately, like right away. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No hesitation, no waiting about it. And Jerry's ability to shoot the ball from deep, it feels like we're in a twilight zone. To go from a team that was undersized and could not shoot, to then go from a team with all this length all over the place. We got 6'6" guys playing guard for crying out loud. And now we've got bigs that are, knocking it down from deep at a very high clip. This is the type of stuff that I sit back and I say to myself, this team, and here's the thing, Grayson, you know what I always say. You get 1 or 2 best games of the season, 1 or 2 worst games of the season, and then everything else is about who you are.
Right.
I highly doubt that we look back at the end of the season and say, man, game 1 was one of their best games. I think that we look back at this and say game 1 set the tone, but I don't think we look back and say that was one of the more memorable games of year 1 under Will Wade.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I see y'all in the comment section. I was never going to forget him. We also got to give big time flowers to Musa Sanye playing in his first American collegiate game. I thought he looked great in the limited minutes. I thought he looked great. His energy, his rebounding, my goodness, plucking basketballs out of the air, one-handed, falling back, and then making the extra pass to hit. I believe it was, Paul McNeil for a 3. Maybe it was Matt Abel, one of the two. Just a freakish athletic play that we don't really see that often at NC State in the last couple decades. Musa Sanye is going to be a continued work in progress. Defensively, Will Wade was not lying about what he brings to the table there. So keep an eye on his continued development. But I really like what you saw from Musa Sanye tonight. The energy is just, it's something that you can't always teach. Sometimes it's got to be in you. Musa Sanye has it. I was really impressed by his hustle and his passion tonight. Is there anyone we haven't touched on yet? We can talk about Scotty Abube. He is much bigger than I guess realized that he was. When he leaves the floor, look out below, ladies and gentlemen. Get the blank out of the way. Him coming down thunderous with the dunks. Now, again, he gets himself into foul trouble. Musa Sanye also fouled out tonight. So we'll see. We'll see if we can improve that situation. But Scotty Abube in pockets, he gives you size and physicality that you won't see too often anywhere else in the country. He's not like a 7'4" guy, but he's 6'11", and he's got some beef on him. He'll let you know when he's in the paint. So Scotty Abube also, I thought he looked pretty good for us.
Our front court did a fantastic job. This was a fantastic job by everybody, honestly and truly. Our front court did a fantastic job because of hustle and effort. They did a fantastic job because you talk about Quadir Copeland being a junkyard dog. Our entire front court played like they had something to prove. Yes. And this is what Grayson and I have been talking about in terms of every game should matter. Every game should matter. It shouldn't be we're waiting until we got the Dirty Foot Club or Duke coming through to play our best game. Every game should matter. Every game you should play like my hair is on fire, and it's either going to be me or it's going to be you getting embarrassed tonight, and I'll be damned if it's me. And that's how Will Wade coached this game, and that's how his players played this game. I mean, this trapping up 45, he said, hey, what does the scoreboard have to do with us? We're going to run our stuff to run our stuff. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Because honestly, Grayson, that's how champions are made. If you listen to Nick Saban talk about his teams at Alabama, he never says, well, yeah, we did kind of come out sluggish in this game and that game, but it was all right. We were going to win in the end, so we smoothed it all over. He still talks about that Georgia Southern game in a way that makes you think Georgia Southern beat them. But no, they didn't, and it still meant the world to him to call out. We could not stop them in the first half. Will Wade was very much so the same way after what we saw against South Carolina, and now look at this. Not to mention, Grayson and I told you before the exhibition, and especially after, there were some things going on that court that we know they're not going to be doing that much in the regular season. That's not going to be that primary lineup. He's probably not going to be the starter in the regular season, and yet they still came away with the win. So, all in all, that standard is the standard, that we're going to do what we do. It doesn't matter who we're playing, how they're playing, how much we're up, how much we're down. That is where you get them big rings. You get them rings that you can go ahead and, hey, how y'all doing? Oh, everybody all right? Oh, it's just me, ACC championship, Musa Sanye. Oh, it's just me, ACC champion, Matt Abe. Oh, it's just me, national champion, Quadricopa. That's where champions are born.
I want to connect more to that idea. We're going to get into another quick ad read, so stick with us. But I love where you're going with that. I have more to say after a quick word from our sponsors.
And folks, Grayson and I only go to Gametime to get our tickets. College basketball is back. The Lenny was rocking. You almost turned that noise light red. The tailgates are here. The rivalries are here. The energy is in the stands. There's nothing like it. But let's be real. Actually getting the tickets can feel like more of a battle than the game itself, especially when Will Wade's coaching. Am I right? But with endless queues, hidden fees, and prices jumping at the checkout, none of us like it. That's why Grayson and I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay. I'll pull it up Gametime, and in just a couple hours, I saw some amazing deals for some tickets, and I'm talking about your favorite college sporting event for as low as $10 to $15. So take the guesswork out of buying your college basketball tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, use promo code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today.
Last couple minutes of our Monday evening post-game live. Again, this will also serve as your Tuesday show. So if you're not in here right now, hello, you missed us last night. It was one hell of a night, and we're still talking about it for the next couple minutes. 114-66. It was a banner evening. We had the throwback uniforms. We had a blowout win. We had Will Wade getting a technical. We got free chicken. You can't let that go unnoticed. The first game of the year, we're already getting free chicken. Something else that I want to connect to what Kenta was just talking about, and the idea of you don't stop until you hit your standard of greatness. You also saw that with Will Wade and Andrew Slater on the recruiting trail in the portal this past summer. We know there was some potentially shady interworkings behind the saga of PJ Haggerty, and the unofficial story was they came back to the table, wanted a little more cheddar. Will Wade stood on business, said, we don't roll like that. We have a standard to uphold. We do not bargain. We're not taken hostage by anyone else. We set the rule. We set the standard. You either take it or leave it. And instead, tonight we had a leading scorer of Darian Williams with 19, 4, and 8. This coaching staff, in every single thing they do, in nutritional things. He talked about the Player of the Week award that they were giving out over the summer. Nutrition was very high on their pillars. They had a couple pillars. Of course, they're escaping me now that I wanted to bring it up, but they have very specific standards that they hold every single person accountable for. To Kenton's point, that's how you win championships. That's how you raise both the ceiling and the floor and everything you've ever wanted this program to be. That's how you do it. And I love that Kenton referenced Saban because that's something that I do all of the time. There's a reason that he is one of the greatest coaches to ever do it, because he was more pissed in a win than when he was in a loss. He demanded excellence in every single facet. One of my favorite movies of all time is Remember the Titans. Coach Boone, you can see why I like it so much. Never mind. But he said, you will be perfect in every aspect. You fumble the ball, I will break my behind parts in your behind, and then you will run a mile. The demand for perfection is there with this coaching staff. You can feel it. I don't know how many more times I can say that. Of course, you get what I'm getting at here. There's a different air. There's a different air. You felt it before we tipped off tonight. You felt it after the first couple minutes. You felt it at halftime. And you certainly felt it after the game was over when Will Wade jumps on the mic and has something to say to the Wolfpack faithful. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thank you to the coaching staff for coming here to revive the Wolfpack fan base. This is what we've always dreamed of. And again, I want to harp on this too. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. It's just game one. But this, the view, the overall big picture, perfect segue. My big picture view from what I saw tonight, this is what a serious program looks like. This is what a program that contends for championships and is constantly in the mix to win rings every year. That's what it looks like. It takes dedication. It takes discipline. It takes the right people in the right places, pushing the right buttons. And NC State, for the first time since the late 80s, they have that now. So when Will Wade was saying there's going to be a reckoning, the fan base, the administration, the coaching staff, and the team, when they meet on the same level, when we all come together, it's something special, and you better get up or get the hell out the way. Tonight is the beginning. That's what it looks like.
Absolutely. And what I want to say, my big picture takeaway from this thing is the players. The players were not stunting on North Carolina Central at all. They weren't acting like they were surprised to be up by that much at all. They weren't acting like, oh, we're not going to be here often, so we better enjoy it and relish in this one at all. What's the importance to that? The expectation is there. The expectation that this is the norm. This is how we will play. This is how we will shoot. This is how we will defend. This is how we will rebound. This is how we will pass. That, to me, that expectation, because I'm not going to point no fingers at anybody else. I'm just going to say we have seen teams be very excited to beat up on the island of Misfit Toys University. We've seen teams, if we go over to football, Arch Manning standing over guys from Sam Houston, looking down on them and all that. And it's like, oh, well, what's going on here? You were a Heisman frontrunner coming into the season, and now you're having a stun on Sam Houston. He wasn't expecting to be there. He didn't believe like, hey, this is my norm. This is the order of the world. This is who I am and how I am. This state team seems to believe that. This state team seems to believe when people say, oh, NC State should stay in their place, and our place is on top. That's where we believe we should be, and that's how the players conducted themselves tonight. That's my big picture takeaway. The players believe we're supposed to be at the top. The coaches believe we're supposed to be at the top. Wolfpack Nation, we believed it all along. And like Grayson said, the administration, the coaching, the personnel, everything is in place for us to be there. Now, let's all act like we've been there before. But, anybody who knows me knows, hey, I can show some grace and victory. You know what I mean? I can show a little bit of grace and victory. But every now and then, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know, oh, man, you play for Dirty 30? Oh, you don't got none of these rings, do you? This is exclusive to the Cass Tech boys. Oh, you play over at King? Y'all play Division II? Y'all don't got none of these. It's time to let folks know that from an NC State advantage.
Yes, sir. The last thing, just real quickly, that I want to talk about before we get you out of here, the reconnection to our storied past, not just in the jerseys and the light meter and everything else this coaching staff has done to learn the fan base, but the NC State legends that are now reconnecting the program. You got TJ Warren tweeting about NC State on opening night. You had several different players back in the house. You had Casey Morcell on the call with Andrew Sanders. Shout out our guy, Andrew Sanders. We love you. But most importantly, let's all be quite honest here. The biggest personality that was in the house, Big 30, the smooth operator. DJ Burns was in the house. Did y'all see the line for his autographs? tonight, that is stuff that we've missed forever. We have not had NC State legends, with all due respect, in quite some time, like legend, like DJ Byrne legend status. And if you've noticed, we have the same shirt on. Did he get it from me or did I get it from him? That'll be my lasting point for this evening. Thank you all for being here. Monday evening post-game live. Again, this is also the Tuesday episode. We love you. We love the Wolfpack. What an exciting time to be a fan of NC State basketball. Yet again, it's been such a long time. It has never felt as promising as tonight looks. So thank you all so much for being here. Be sure to hit that like button. Drop your comments in the comment box. We will see you back on Wednesday. We have more football to discuss, much more basketball to discuss. What's also cool is we're finally at the point of the year where we can ping pong the sports back and forth. There's so much to talk about around the world of NC State. We're thankful that you guys are here to talk about it with us. So until Wednesday, we will see you then. Go Pack.
Go Pack.